Welcome back to the Loveland Report and the Lone Ranger Show, the most listened to real estate and mortgage show in the universe, in Central Florida, in the United States, all over the place. We are giving you your real estate
I think
news.
the universe covered it.
I think it did. And all of your mortgage and real estate news. We appreciate you tuning in here to get that because we know what's going on. Because despite our immense radio talents and on the air talents and our voices that just smooth, buttery voices, we are in mortgages and real estate every day of the week.
That's what we do.
Working and selling. So I just want to talk about, Bruce, you're going to talk about Hometown Heroes is back actually, but this is another reason why you need to buy now. Don't get left behind. I really think our median price is going to keep climbing next year. It's been flat for a couple of months, but that will continue to climb. And as owning a house, there are no rich renters out there. You need to get into something now.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a rich renter. You cannot continue to rent that. If you don't like interest rates and you're renting, you're paying 100% interest rate. That's what you're paying. Why would you ever do that? You go nowhere. Now, on the other hand, it's interesting. I taught a class earlier in the week to real estate agents on helping their clients understand the cost of waiting. And it's interesting because if you bought a $375,000 house, even though the rate's a little higher than it would be, say, if it was at 5.25%, at the end of 2 years, you would have lost about $69,000. Who has the money to lose $69,000 in a 2-year period of time? That's ridiculous. So don't wait to buy. Buy now, refi later. Marry the house, date the rate. That's right. The way it goes. So, and for all of you that are like, oh man, I just don't think I can buy right now. Let's talk about first. There's only a couple of reasons you don't buy. Okay. The first one could be is you're just a fool. Okay. And I'm hoping that none of my listeners
not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
You might not be that smart, and that's okay.
All right.
And you may have an excuse for it, but there is no excuse for it. But the primary reason is either your credit isn't good enough or you don't have any cash to buy. So let's talk about the cash portion first. If you are a first-time home buyer with Hometown Heroes means you have not owned a primary residence in the last 36 months. So for instance, you got divorced from your husband. You want to buy right now. He kept the house. You've been out of the house for 3 years. You qualify.
Sold an old house in another state, moved here to Central Florida.
Yep.
Pre-COVID, and now you want to buy.
Yep. There's income limits. It's different for each county, but they're about $130,000 per household. So if you have less than $130,000 per year, you haven't owned a home in the last 3 years, you don't have to be a hero anymore. I mean, you're always a hero to Cleve and I, but you don't have to be a police officer, military, teacher, nurse. You just have to be a first-time home buyer.
Bruce, when you see all these guys on TV and on the news channels and everything, there's always a guy that, started out in commercial real estate, or a guy that's a big investor, or a real estate expert in mega $1 million mansions. Do you ever see the rental expert? The guy who's been still living at home with mom, living in the basement, renting a room, paying.
No, Elon Musk is the only one that's been renting his whole life and been rich.
I think so.
He's an anomaly.
He does that on stock options.
Yeah,
doesn't he?
He's an anomaly.
So, I would say he can get away with it. Yeah.
So listen, here's what Hometown Heroes does. It gets you down payment assistance. It gets you 5% of the loan amount. So if you bought a $375,000 house, that's going to give you enough money to cover your down payment and most of your closing costs. Cleve will help you negotiate the rest of the closing costs that you need to get in for next to nothing down. Why would you wait? That solves your down payment problem. Now, there's only about $10 million left. That's probably going to be gone by next week. So you must call me now at 407-250-9144. If you have a relative that's renting, a friend or somebody you love, then call me now. Rescue them. Don't let them keep hurting themselves by renting. Call me now or call Cleve. He can be reached at 407-352-8118. We'll help you with whatever it takes. And then the next thing is, Cleve, is credit. So if your credit is tarnished and not enough to qualify for a mortgage, I will help you fix it. Now, if your credit is so sucky that it's just literally in the toilet, then there's that toilet flush again.
That's from FICO, right?
That is your credit score. If your credit score is that bad, then I will pay to have you go through credit repair. I'll reimburse you at the closing table up to $400. So now you have no reason not to call me. 407-250-9144. Go right to webringyouhome.com and get your application started.
Well, I see all these things, Bruce, about how next year will be a better year and we'll see price appreciation. Now, so it's funny. I think some of these internet companies are circling the drain. Some of these real estate companies are circling the drain because they were all tech based. They really had no sales skills in there. They just hired everybody, tried to do things a different way. I think some of those are circling the drain. Those are the ones I see talking about how we're still doom and gloom coming.
Yeah.
They can't see the horizon.
Well, that sells the media. I hate
it
that.
Does. That's clickbait. But the economists say lower interest rates. That's going to get people going. The people sitting on their 3% and 4% mortgage right now, their lives will change, and some of that's still going to be part of the regular market. They're going to have to go ahead and sell, but they built up equity quicker. They've had a low family household expenses because of that low payment. They're going to be okay with 6%.
And what about keeping that house? If you can afford to put 5% down on your next house, then why don't you keep that house and turn it into a rental property?
Like we teach. So, but leapfrog out of that one and make it into I've made some great landlords cash flowing over $1,000 a month. Even when they just bought the house a couple years ago, and they are using that to offset their 7% payment they had to get in the past 6 months.
Absolutely. So, I'm helping a lot of folks right now with DSCR programs. Are you familiar with DSCR?
Debt service coverage ratio.
That's it, baby.
Did I get it right? All right.
So, but let's talk about what it means, Cleve, before we get into your listing. It means that the only thing you need, this is for investment property only. This is not owner occupied, but you buy a home. And all that I need to qualify for the income is the payment on the rent. And as long as it's a 1-to-1 ratio, I actually do have programs that only have to be 75% of the actual mortgage payment, but I use the rent to qualify you. I got a client, my great radio clients, his name's Bill, came to me. He is refining one of his rental properties with the DSCR to buy a third property for him under DSCR. This is a sharp guy. Love Bill and his wife. They've been into the office several times, but these are folks that we can help that, we want to walk them through the process. And we really went through everything with them so that they could make the right decision on what works best so they could have some nice retirement income coming in.
That's right. Because with that DSCR, it's basically you get a little more down payment to try and make sure the rent covers it. Because nowadays you put down 20-25%, you're probably not going to cash flow.
Well,
I mean, rents are great.
Maybe not. It depends. On his refi, he had tons of cash flow. On his purchase, he'll have less. You're correct. Cleve, how do they reach you right now?
407-352-8118. I've got people standing by, and I want to dive into my listings right now, Bruce.
Before you do that, let me give my number out at 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com.
All right, I've got some great examples here. I've got a Sand Lake chain of mansion. $2.6 million. This house was totally renovated from top to bottom. Fresh paint, fresh floors, everything, new cabinets all over the place. Pool, you are direct.
That is everything you want in a house. Right
that's lakefront.
It's a dream house.
This is it right now. You got SeaWorld fireworks views at night out the back over the lake. You got Disney fireworks out front from the front balcony. There's a media room. There's 2 double master bedrooms. It's 6 bedrooms, 5 baths, 4,500 square feet.
That house would be perfect for the Universal or Disney executives.
Yep.
Somebody that's working out there that really wants to buy that dream home. And it's priced right. What was the price on that one again?
$2.6 million.
Beautiful.
And then other end of the scale, I've got a starter home here. I've got a condominium, a 1-bedroom condo downtown, Orange Avenue, just north of 50. $199,900, got great views at 700 square feet, all totally redone inside, brand new, everything inside. All the appliances are replaced, all the flooring, all the paint. You move right in, $199 there.
I want to check and see if that's on the Fannie Mae list.
And then,
if it is, I might be interested in
vacation rental in Stony Brook South for $440,000. This is what I was talking about, Bruce. There's 5 other houses like this all listed, all above $450,000. This house is at $440,000, 1,900 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, fully furnished. About half the year is booked on this vacation rental. And then I've got one in Deltona, another good starter home. Nice house, nice size, 1,700 square feet. And it's funny, all the competition around it priced in the 320s, they're all 1,200 square feet, 1,400 square feet. This one's 1,700 square feet with solar panels for $325,000. The roof was done a couple years ago. AC, all the things you need done on the mechanicals in this house are done at $324,500. And it's also got a 2-car garage, high ceiling, split plan, large master bath. I've got an acre of property with a single wide on it for $99,900. The house needs to be renovated, but 9,000 square feet, 1 acre, no HOA in Polk City. And then I've got, this is a really interesting rental property, Bruce. This one right here throws off about $7,000 in income, right? Excuse me, $6,500 in income. The price is $550. And I really believe with some fix up, there's 3 residential units, basically efficiency apartments, 3 residential units and a commercial unit. Be great for like a liquor store. Right now it's a sandwich shop. This rental property, polish those freestanding efficiencies. They are 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, and then they've got a 2-1 and a 2-2. I said efficiencies. I'm sorry. They are 2 bedrooms. And those, I believe, would rent for about, you probably make another $2,000 a month in rent fixing those up. So let's say you got after taxes, or excuse me, after expenses, you've got over $5,000 income for a property at $500,000. So call me if you're interested in that. It's a great rental property. Also multi-use. Those residential units could be offices, commercial offices, which would rent for more probably. Give me a call. That's in Orange City, 407-352-8118. Or if you need help finding your next house, selling your house to find your next home, I can help you with that. Call me at 407-352-8118.
All right. So Fannie Mae gave us a gift and HUD gave us a gift. So now the new loan limits for Fannie Mae are now $766,550. So that means
hold on. FHA?
No, conventional.
Oh, conventional. Okay.
Conventional.
So now jumbos are above 800.
Well, right? Jumbo would be over 766.
Sales price, I meant. Yeah.
Right. Well, here's what I was going to say. You could buy a home for about $805 and put 5% down and get a conventional loan right now with these new loan limits. So that's pretty phenomenal. And then you've got FHA is now to $498, so almost $500,000. So you could buy a $525,000 house and put 3.5% down and get an FHA loan. That means your credit could be marginal, like 600, 620. I don't have credit score limits at CrossCountry Mortgage, so I don't care if you're 580 or 540. It makes no difference to me. Apply with me at WeBringYouHome.com.
But that's what's important. You got a 750 score, you're going to get the lower rate at 7%.
Well, of course, yeah, you're lower.
You got an 800, but you can tell people what to do to fix that rate, even if they're not buying this month.
I fix people's credit that don't even have bad credit. I just bump them up. I got a client right now. They have a 758. That's a good score, right?
Is that the best rate I can get?
But if you went 2 points higher in your score, your rate is slightly better.
Really?
So yeah, for 2 points, because there's a threshold and it's about every 10 points. So 558 versus 560 could be, it's not significant. Don't get me wrong. But if we're trying to squeeze every bit out of it that we can, then let's do it. So I'm helping that client.
So I should cut up my Kohl's card and my Target card.
Well, don't do anything.
That's right. Don't do anything. Call you.
Talk to me first.
Call you.
Because most of the time when people try to fix their own credit, they do more damage. I had a client we were already approved with, and they thought they were doing themselves a favor, and they paid off all of their credit cards. I didn't want them to pay off all their credit cards. I had a plan for them, but they did it anyway, and their score dropped by 40 points. Change the rate.
Good Lord.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
What's the number, Bruce? We got
407-250-9144. Again, write that down, 407-250-9144, or WeBringYouHome.com.
All right. For Loveland Properties, chances are one of those rooftops on your street, I'd help sell it, buy it, manage it as an investment property. Call me at 407-352-8118.
All right. So when we come back, Cleve, what do you got to cover next time?
I want to talk about the importance of location.
Okay. I want to talk about my 10-day close with a fast track loan. 10 days. 10 days, I'll close your loan. I want to talk about making condos easier to buy and jumbo transactions over 766. My great products I have for you high-end buyers. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned to the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger Radio Show. We are not going anywhere. We got another good 15 minutes to spend with you. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger Radio Show.